All right, so we are going to see if we can simplify these two fractions. Or maybe not just simplify. I'm going to see what you guys did with these two fractions. So let's start with Ryland.
Yes.
What did you do with 4/6?
4/6? Oh, I messed up then.
You messed up
I
then.
put 2/6.
2/6.
That is 2/3.
2/3. And how do you know that?
Because if I times.
Okay, tell me how you know it's 2/3. Or do you just know it's 2/3?
Because if I times 2 by 3, it's 6, and 4 is a multiple of 2, and so that makes it 2/3.
Okay. Okay, so he's got 2/3. Soraya?
I have something else for you guys. 4/6 is, I think it's equal to 2/4 because both of them are equal to 2.
Okay, so we think it's equal to 2/4. We think, Silas?
If you add the fractions together, you get 5.
Okay, so you think the answer is 5/6? Okay.
Aren't we supposed to be making
Okay, adding the factors together, he got 5/6. All right, Emma?
I got 2/3, but I halved it. I just halved it because it would make it easier.
Okay, so you did half of the numerator and half of the denominator?
That was
Okay.
they would both.
Let me ask you this, Emma. How do you find half of something? You divide it by 2. All right? So the correct answer is 2/3. But let me show you why the correct answer is 2/3. Because as my young friend Emma said, she divided each of these, the numerator and the denominator, by 2. But before I do that, let me ask you a question. Andrea, what is 41 divided by 41? You're not all Andrea. It's just 1, right? So if I divide something by 1, it stays exactly the same. Now let's move that into fractions. Drea, do you know how we know if a fraction equals 1?
There's the same number on the top and the bottom.
Good. If our numerator is the same as our denominator.
1.
So 2/2, or 2/2, is the same as 1. Andrea told us if you divide by 1, the value is going to stay the same. If you divide by 1, the value is going to stay the same. So the fraction 2/2 equals
1 whole.
1 whole. 2/2 equals 1 whole. If you looked at those pictures that we had before, and they were shading both parts, then it would equal 1. Now, what is 4 divided by 2? 2. And what is 6 divided by 2? 3.
I think they want me.
And that's how we got 2/3.
Ba-bang.
Is it always going to be that easy that we know? It's not always going to be that easy. What about 2/4? What do we think? Give me some information.
Roberto?
Yes. Yes.
Hi, can I have Brianna Buffington for an appointment, please?
Yes, ma'am.
You?
All right, so who can tell me about 2/4? What did you do with 2/4? Sumeda.
8 and 4.
Okay, so you did 8 and 4. Okay.
I got.
Oh, 4/8. Okay.
I know.
4/8. Kaylee?
I divided it I did 1 on the top and then 2.
Okay, so 1/2. Eli, what did you do with 2/4? What do you have on your paper that I said to do with 2/4? Okay, Carter,
You.
what'd you do with 2/4? What do you have on your paper? Okay, so we got two answers here. We got 4/8 and 1/2. 4/8 and 1/2. I have the same people each time. Come on, I need some new blood here answering. New blood. Rylan.
It could be 50 out of 100.
Could be 50 out of 100. Could be 50 out of 100. Isaac.
500 out of 1,000.
500 out of 1,000. Isaac, how do you know that? I mean, those are big numbers. How do you know that it could be 500 out of 1,000?
Well, basically 500 is just half of 1,000.
Okay, 500 is half of 1,000. Is 1/2 of 2?
Yeah.
Is 4 half of 8? Is 50 half of 100? So if you had to make a rule, if you had to say, hey, little 4th grader, here's my rule about 1/2, what would your rule about 1/2 be? What would your rule, Kaylee?
If you're looking for 1/2, take a number that you can divide by 2 and then put the answer.
Okay, we can divide by 2. Susankia?
If you can, what's it called again? Subtract the numerator from the denominator. If the denominator is the same as the numerator after the subtraction,
Okay,
it's 1/2.
okay. Silas?
To find make sure that a number is equal to 1/2. You take the numerator and multiply it by 2 and then make sure that the numerator.
Okay, so we could take the numerator, the denominator, and divide it by 2, and then these should be equal. Emma?
Most of the time, 5 and 10 are the easiest ones.
Okay. How so? How are 5s and 10 the easiest?
50 by 100. You could just subtract each 0 from 1. So say you have 50, subtract 1 0 from that, and then you subtract the other 0 from the 100, and then just count how many times 5 goes to 10.
Okay. Rylan?
You can times the top number by 2, and then you get your bottom number.
Okay. So if we multiply our numerator by 2, it'll give you the denominator. Okay, so that's a rule. Okay, we've said several different rules how you would explain it to a 4th grader. Okay, so timesing it by 2, as Rylan, you said multiplying this by 2. Let me ask you what the inverse operation of multiplying by 2 is.
It's dividing the bottom number by the top number.
Okay, so dividing the bottom number by the top number.
And then you would get 2.
Okay.
And then
All right. So, and let me summarize it if I can put all of these pieces together. Let me summarize it and put all these pieces together. If the numerator is half of the denominator. So, if I took 500 and multiplied it by 2, I would get 1,000. So, if my numerator is half of my denominator, Okay? So that's a rule you could share with the fourth grader, with your Aunt Gertrude, with your Uncle Bob.
I don't like Bobby Bob.
You don't like Uncle Bob? I'm sorry.
I like Aunt.
Boom, shakalaka, peace out, God bless, love you, do something kind today, save the bees, and please subscribe.